Hello, everybody, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel, Love, Truth, and Wisdom Tarot Guidance. This is going to be a pick a card reading, messages from Spirit. So, important messages that Spirit want you to know at this time. We have four piles here, A, B, C, and D. So please feel free to pick more than one. If you feel guided to do that, you can listen to all four. They're just going to be kind of, we'll just see what the cards, you know, what the cards say, but they could be love related, work related, life related, just important messages that Spirit wants you to know at this particular time. So I want to say thank you to all my new subscribers and all the likes and comments and shares I'm getting. I truly appreciate it. Like from the bottom of my heart, I love doing this, and I hope you guys enjoy this reading as much as I enjoy doing these readings. So on to your reading. Okay, pile A. So what Spirit wants you to know, important messages. Okay, so the first thing I see here, so Spirit gave you an extra message. I originally, it was supposed to be one animal tarot card, but two came out. So this is an extra important message. So the first thing I'm getting here, or that I notice, is that there is a need for forgiveness. And forgiveness speaks of forgiveness, unconditional love, and a completion of some sort. So I feel like a lot of you guys are completing a cycle in your life in terms of you guys forgiving yourselves and forgiving others. But importantly, I think it's yourselves, because we have the habit of people pleasing. So surrender to the habit of people pleasing says speak your needs and be true to yourself. Focus on your own happiness instead of always trying to make everyone else happy. I feel like you guys have learned or been conditioned to care about other people before you care about yourself, which is totally normal. Like most of us have been conditioned to think that way. But you're in a cycle where that's kind of ending, or that needs to end. Spirit wants to let you know that you don't need to do that anymore. There's no need for you to put other needs first, to there's a really important need to focus on your own happiness and make decisions based on how you feel and how you want to live your life, instead of how other people think you should feel or think you should live your life. So I really think this forgiveness speaks about you forgiving yourself for either for you having the habit of people pleasing, because it's not your fault. It's just something that was conditioned in you, or something that you were just brought up to believe in. Like it's not as big as a deal as you may think it is, or anything like that. Spirit really wants you to know, like, all that's needed is just a certain level of forgiveness, and to see the situation from a perspective of love. Because I really think it matches. You have the self-love card here, so there's really a strong vibe or need to really love yourself through this transition period that I think you guys are going through. So your animal cards, you have pig spirit and parrot spirit. Parrot spirit came up in reverse. Pig spirit is upright. Pig spirit says use your mind wisely. So pigs are very intuitive. They're very wise creatures. They're actually very, very intelligent, and they make decisions based on, like I said, they're very intuitive creatures. So they make decisions based on, what they feel. So, like I said, you guys have to I feel like some of you need to get in touch with how you feel. Maybe the reason that you have been people pleasing is because you never know how you feel, or you don't know how to tap into your intuition or tap into your feelings, or you don't even know what makes you happy. So you just kind of do whatever other people say make you happy, or just like focus on other people way too much and not enough on yourself. And Spirit really wants you to like self-love, because there's a new beginning here in terms of your self-love, which is so extremely exciting and it's so positive. But like it needs to come from a place of like not caring what other people think, or kind of like just putting up boundaries, because self-love is all about self-respect, self-awareness, and boundaries. Not necessarily walls, but boundaries need to be put up between you and other people. And I do feel like it's people. I don't think it's one specific person that you're doing this with. I think it's like everybody that you come in contact with. You always put their needs first, their wants first, and you never focus on your own happiness. And Spirit really wants you to start focusing on your own happiness, because you are a really great person. I feel like you're very inspired and very creative and very stable and nurturing and caring. So you automatically just want to care and nurture others, which is perfectly fine. But there has to be It's like you do that for others, but you don't do it for yourself. You don't care for yourself as much as you care or have cared for others. And it's time for you to start caring for yourself first and then caring for others, because it's like you're giving from an empty place, and then it can become like when you're just focusing on the needs of other people and not yourself, if you start to have like resentment or like a disbelief, or like a disbelief about yourself, low self-esteem, like just it starts to like deplete you, because it was never like incorporated in you to put yourself first to begin with. So it's like a whole, it's just like a whole new beginning, I feel like you guys are going through at this time. But like I said, so Pig Spirit really wants you to use your analytical mind and along with your intuition. So I'm really picking up here from Pig Spirit to use your wisdom when it comes to making decisions, because I do feel like there's important, it's not like major arcana important decision, but there is a decision that you don't feel strong enough to make, because it's all you know is to focus on other people. And I don't think you've ever had the opportunity to really focus on yourself and your own needs, and that can be scary for like a lot of people who have never put themselves first, because then it seems like you're selfish, which is like a distorted view of self-love. Like, you putting your needs and your happiness first is not selfish. It's what's needed, because if you can't give to yourself, you know, what you want to give to others, it's never gonna reciprocate. It's never gonna balance out. And there's a major need in this forgiveness card. I'm feeling that it's like a need to be honest and to communicate honestly with people, which I also feel like you guys have never done, since Parrot Spirit here is reversed and it says watch your words. And it's like I feel like you guys have always been communicating from a place of like just like pretending to be happy or pretending to be okay, or never really expressing your needs to others, but only just caring about how other people's needs, like especially if you're a mom, this can kind of become like a routine for you, because you know you're taking care of kids. But if you're not, you know, this is something that kind of needs to end now, because we're in a new era of self-love, and self-love is the beginning of all relationships. Like self-love is where your first relationship starts, and if you don't have that type of, you know, respect and boundaries and like self-awareness, and you know are in control of your own emotions and your own happiness, like you know that, like, what am I trying to say? Like, you know that if you don't make yourself happy, how is anyone else supposed to make you happy, type of thing. Like, that's the type of vibe I'm getting here. So you guys are learning how to do that. You're open to it, but I do sense there's like a little bit of hesitation and fear, because it's just something new and you're scared to do it. But basically, the Pig Spirit here is telling you that you need to be clear-minded and use your wisdom when making these decisions, because you can trust your intuition. You can trust, I feel like you guys have been thinking just about, you know, being so in, not being so like involved in other people's lives, or not being so helpful all the time, like still helping, but not as much as you like want to, or you think you should, because it's been so depleting to you. I feel like you guys have been very, very much depleted, to the point where some of you may have like kind of been in hermit mode and may not have been talking to anyone, just because like you feel like everyone's taking and taking and taking from you, and that's not the case. You're just over giving from a place of lack, from a place of like low self-confidence, or just low self-esteem, from a place of like, you, I don't even think you know the place. I think this is mostly unconscious for a lot of you, and it's just coming from a place of like lack of stability in your own like knowledge about yourself, if that makes sense. So Pig Spirit is really telling you to be open-minded, and to be open-minded when it comes to communication with others. I feel like you guys are wanting to tell people about this newfound, like, if like this new self-love journey you're on, and it's like you're already thinking about how it's going to go over in your head, and it's not positive. It's like you're not thinking positively about how the conversations with others is going to go, because it's like you're going to be changing. It's like you're too far into the future about what's going to happen, instead of just taking it like day by day, which is why we have watch your words here. But definitely I feel like you already know what to do. You've already made that decision. I think just actually like taking the steps, you've already like intuitively thought about doing this, but in terms of taking the steps, you just don't feel strong enough. But Spirit wants you to know that you are strong enough. You are ready for this. And honestly, I'm getting here, you've been ready for this. Like, this is something that has been like in the works behind the scenes for you to do for a very, very long time here. And it's just, you're so tired of always putting other people's needs first, or just always putting other people first and never getting a chance to focus on yourself. And Spirit has conspired this whole plan for you in your life, and at this moment right now, to help you, choose you instead of choosing others. And just so like it can, because I feel like there's a balance issue here. Like, it's been so about other people, and so you've been like kind of low. You know what I'm saying? Other people have been high and you've been low. So now to balance it, it's like you have to be high and other people have to be low, and then like later down the road, like it'll like kind of balance out where it's like you're even with other people, if that makes sense. I'm like using my hands, but you can't see my hands, but you know what I'm saying? Like it needs to balance out. So the universe usually does that when things are out of balance. They'll kind of put people like if you're surrendering the habit of people pleasing, like the people in your life will kind of like scatter or won't be around as much. And this is the universe's or spirit's message to you to take care of yourself instead of like chasing people and trying to figure out like why that you haven't heard from someone or why they haven't contacted you. And it's not from even from a loving place. You just want to be needed, and you want to be liked, and you just want that validation that you're lovable. But it's like Spirit is giving you this time to maybe disconnect from people for some of you, so you can reconnect with yourself. For some of you, and for others of you, it's just you still being involved with these people, but then you communicating differently than what you have in the past, like putting yourself first more, like learning to say no, learning to put up boundaries, making your no's mean no and your yeses mean yes type of energy I feel here. So really use your mind wisely. But I feel like you're already using your mind wisely. It's more like your action steps that need a little bit of help. And maybe your communication that needs a little bit of like a push or something like that. So with Parrot Spirit here, we have it is in reverse, and it says watch your words. So right now it's looking, this card usually speaks of, because parrots like mimic everything they hear. So I think you're, like I said, you're mimicking old beliefs, old communication styles from people. It could be from your childhood, from your parents, from people that you hang around a lot. Maybe you're around a lot of other people pleasers, so you kind of just picked up on that energy and picked up on that like vibe of always putting other people first. So Parrot Spirit in reverse is really asking you to question what you're doing, question how you're communicating, especially with yourself. First and foremost, because like I said, the relationship with yourself is the first one, is like the number one relationship that sets the tone for all other relationships. So your voice has a lot of power. You can change the conversation like in your head. You can. You just have to use your intuition and go based on how you feel. Because I feel like for some of you, a lot of you guys don't know what makes you happy or like at all. And this is a time for you. Spirit is giving you this message right now, and this time for you to really get to know who you are and really get to know what makes you happy. It's a brand new beginning in like self-love and loving yourself. But you are called to speak the truth and speak with love, which is what this forgiveness I feel is. So in terms of forgiveness, like forgiveness comes, when we are holding on to a lot of anger or hurt or bitterness or resentment from something in the past, or it could be, it doesn't have to be from the past. It could be just, well, usually it's from the past, but it could be anything, you're just holding on to that energy and you feel it. You'll either feel it in your chest or your neck or your head or your stomach or your like, lower parts. Like usually when I feel like I'm holding on to like really negative energy, I hold it all in my like chest and my neck, so I just do some chakra therapy or some chakra meditation and kind of clear that out. But definitely like forgiveness is needed, and it speaks about honest communication. So I think you guys are just, well, spirit's telling you actually, don't be nervous about speaking honestly with others. Like if you have to say no, you say no, and you do so from a loving place. You don't have to be like harsh or brash or like resentful about saying no. It has to come from a very balanced, truthful place of like, and fair. It has to come from a fair place. Like I feel like karma, the law of karma is on your side, and now it's your turn to kind of put yourself first. So I feel like spirit's telling you that we're going to give you opportunities to speak your truth now, to really watch what you're saying and watch your beliefs about the world, about your life, about others, because I feel like you have some miscued beliefs, like I said, about yourself and about others, about putting other people first and not yourself first. Like, watch your beliefs about that kind of stuff. And it's time to use your voice in a powerful, balanced, stable way to help you in this new beginning in being stable and secure in yourself and not needing validation or recognition from anyone or anything. Because then you can give from a place that is authentic and that's true and that's unconditional, instead of like always giving to get something in return, or always giving to get validation or security in yourself. Like, you have it all with you. Spirit wants you to know, like, you don't need it from other people. And so Spirit is really giving you this time to kind of like really, I feel like you guys have already reflected on this, but it's like I feel like you guys are nervous about how to communicate this. Like, it's something, it's like your beliefs are still a little nervous. You're kind of like a page at this. Like, it's just a little nervous energy that I'm feeling about communication. And it's just because, and it's more like communicating. It's not the communication, it's communicating from a place of love, because I feel like you guys are just starting this journey of self-love and you don't know exactly what that means or where that is going to take you. But Spirit is saying to like be spontaneous with it. Just take each day as it comes. We will guide you along the way. You have incredible intuition. I feel like Group A has incredible intuition in knowing the right steps to take if you just listen. Because I feel like a lot of you guys are like hermits, very, or like loners, I feel like. But loners, not out of, not, I don't think it's like a choice. I think it's kind of just where you've put yourself into, because you don't really trust people and because you're always giving to people and no one's giving to you. So you kind of just stay to yourself until people need you and then you come out, which is like really, really like unhealthy. And it's not really an act of self-love at all. It's just kind of like like I said, like bitter or martyrism or something like that. You're just kind of like hiding away because you're afraid to speak your truth and speak your needs. And Spirit doesn't want you to do that anymore because you have a beautiful voice. I mean, I feel like a lot of you guys are singers, or you guys just have a really calming, beautiful voice to others. Even if you don't think, excuse me, even if you don't think you have a nice, calming voice, like others really like your voice and like the way that you speak. So Spirit is really giving you this message to really like come to terms with using your voice the way that it was meant to use it, and not in terms of like people pleasing, but in terms of like speaking up and standing up for yourself. So forgiveness really comes in as like the main theme here. Like, so you really need to forgive yourself for not doing that in the past, and don't hold on to any grudges or like I've been getting like a 3 of Cups, like you're like maybe feeling like you wish you would have spoken in the past, because then you wouldn't be in this predicament that you are in now. But you're right where you need to be, Spirit wants you to know. And to just know that you're having this new opportunity to do something different, to speak differently, to like change your circumstances a little bit here. So with synchronicity, we synchronicity usually means like things happening kind of like by magic, like the universe working in your favor type of way in terms of making a choice. So I feel this synchronicity, you're going to come to like a crossroads where you're going to have to make a choice about what you want to say to someone. I do feel like for some of you, you may owe someone an apology. For like a few of you, someone will give you an apology, but for a lot of you, you may owe someone an apology, or, you know, you may just, or for a lot of you, it's like you owe yourself an apology. And then in terms, you know, forgiving others for maybe not knowing how you felt because you never know how you felt type of thing. Like there's a cycle of forgiveness that like goes around. It's like an energy. I don't know what I'm saying, but it's kind of like an energy thing. Like once you forgive yourself, you can forgive others and then they can forgive you. But it's like if you don't forgive yourself, then you can't forgive others, and others can't forgive you. And then you know, it's like a weird thing I'm saying, but synchronicity is really saying you're going to come to this crossroads, this opportunity um to speak your truth, and but you don't feel strong enough, and Spirit is telling you you have all the strength in the world. Like, you don't have to worry about it. Just go with the flow, be spontaneous, try something new, look at it in a way different perspective, look at it from like a spontaneous perspective. I feel like you guys feel really nervous in speaking from this heartfelt place, But you need to be spontaneous with it, and you need to understand that it's something that you've wanted. It's almost like I feel like you guys have been wanting to step out on this like self-love journey, this new beginning, but you always like fall back because you're nervous, or you worry what other people will think. And so you're always asking like, please, like universe or God or whoever you pray to, like give me an opportunity to speak my truth. And now this like opportunity is coming for you to speak your truth. And but you don't feel ready, but you are ready. Like spirit is saying, like you've honestly been ready. You are very much stable and very much a kind, and you always like deal with challenges in a kind and understanding manner. So it's just more like the communication, because it's like I feel like you're still holding on to that like people pleasing habit, and you need to surrender it. So that's kind of going to be your like challenge in terms of this whole situation, like really really letting go of like caring what other people think, and surrendering that the habit of putting others before you, putting others happiness before you, trying to make everyone else happy, because one, that's not your job, and two, you'll never be able to make everyone happy. It's just impossible because it's not your job. Like your job is to make yourself happy, and if you don't know how to make yourself happy, then that's really something spirit wants you to figure out like right now. And so they're giving you this time, these lessons, these circumstances to really speak up about what makes you happy and what you want to do and how you want your life to go moving forward. So, yeah, so with self love here, self love is all about a new beginning in loving yourself. It's all about a new beginning in loving just in general and seeing through the eyes of love. But I feel like you guys are having a hard time. Also, when you do this, I feel like it'll really inspire your creativity, because I feel like for a lot of you guys are artists in some way, whether you sing or paint or draw, or you're on YouTube doing something. It'll really help boost your creative skills and like your art in general, whatever your art may be. But even if you're not an artist, you're always like co-creating with spirit. So you're always co-creating, you're always creating something new. Just remember that. So even if it's not something physical, like physical art, everything you do is art, because you're art, you're a human being in a spiritual form. That's art in itself, So always remember, that. But definitely like there's a lack of like oh, also, just saying, this whole self-love journey will also inspire and like uplift your intuition. Everything is gonna like just be better. So you don't have to worry about it. And I feel like you guys aren't worried about the self-love journey. You're just worried about how other people are gonna take the self-love journey, which is a habit of people pleasing. So really try to like watch what you're thinking about other people. Try to not think so much for other people or what other people will think, like I said, because it's gonna like hold you back, and you don't have time to be held back. Like all this is forming, the universe is conspiring this for you, because they want to see you flourish, and they want to see you thrive, and they want to see you, be abundant and prosperity. What is the word? Prosperous. Sorry. You want to see you be prosperous, and to do so, you need to be able to stand in your truth and then speak your truth, which I relate to this message a lot because I've been struggling with that. So you see, it's not just you guys. Like I struggle with it like my whole life, and I'm just now coming to terms with it. So it's a journey, but it's always a rewarding journey, and it's always for your betterment. Spirit will never give you anything or say anything or give you messages that aren't to help you. You know what I'm saying? They're always to empower you, to improve your life, and to give you what you want deep down in your soul, to fulfill your own happiness. Even if you don't know consciously what you want to be happy, your soul, intuition, and your heart always knows. It's just kind of getting in tune with that part of yourself that takes time and patience and a lot of crying and a lot of tears, but it's all worth it in the end. I'm not gonna lie, like so much like just like dark night of the soul, or like ego deaths, but it's all good, it's all worth it. So new beginning here, we have with the new beginning. So all combined, like I said, it's just a new beginning of self-love, and it's going to come at the right time. So pay attention to like significant details, significant signs. Like if someone out of the blue asks you to hang out, that's kind of the universe giving you an opportunity to speak your truth. For some of you, this is going to be like a relationship that you I don't know, I'm getting this, like a relationship that you were in that was very like self-fulfilling, like the person was kind of very selfish, or you were just like over giving and you guys broke it off, and now this person's coming back to you, because I am filming this during a Mercury retrograde, so it could be that, and you like finally speaking your truth and standing up for yourself and telling this person like you don't hate them, like you forgive them, it wasn't all your fault. It takes two to tango. It takes two to, you know, people to be in this like habit of caring what other people think, you know. It's not as serious. It's like it's just a challenge. It's just a journey. It's just a lesson. It's just an experience. You don't have to take it so seriously. It's just a lesson to forgive, to help grow your soul, and to help become the person, the best version of yourself, basically. But this new beginning is gonna make you way more stable, way more calm, way more patient. You still might be nervous, but really just try to enjoy, I don't know why I'm saying enjoy your garden. Enjoy, and just enjoy who you are. Enjoy this whole journey. Like there's a certain level of enjoyment that needs to come from this for you to really like flow with the energy of the universe and flow with your spirit, flow with spirit. You remember I said like you're always co-creating with spirit. So there's really a message of like flowing with what you know to be true, flowing with your intuition, pig spirit, parrot spirit, you know, all these like intuitive, very smart, very like wise creatures, you know, are by your side. They are your animal guides. Like don't be nervous. Don't because I'm getting like you guys are a little bit nervous, or just don't trust yourself a little bit when it comes to communication, like I said. But you guys will come out of this really like so much better. Like spirit wants you to know like this is honestly, this is the best thing for you. And I feel like you know it's the best thing for you. You're just nervous. And, you know, it's going to be challenging, but it's not impossible. You know, it just takes a level of practice. It's just practice. You know, practice in the mirror, practice with your siblings, your spouse, or if you have a spouse, your partner, your friends, you know, just practice saying no. All it takes, once you start saying no, then you can start really like saying your truth. I found, you know, practice on your parents, you know, just get out of the habit and don't worry so much how other people are going to take it. It doesn't matter how they take it. You're not responsible for their feelings, their happiness, their needs. You're responsible for you. And because this is your life. And once you close your eyes, your life, you know, the world ceased to exist. So you are co-creating your life, and you want to co-create it from a place of happiness, from a place of authenticity, from a place of love, not from a place of lack or fear of being loved, because you're going to be loved either way, and you're going to be loved even more so than you could ever imagine once you start standing in your truth and standing in who you are. So this is your message, Group A. I hope it resonated. If not, please feel free to check out another pile, and I will speak to you guys later. Take care. Okay, hi, Pile B. So, messages from Spirit that Spirit wants you to know. So, the first type of energy I'm kind of getting from the cards here is that a lot of you may be a little bit angry or grief stricken or a little bit bitter because of something in your past. So, we have Vulture Spirit here. It says nothing is wasted, but it is in reverse. So, and it's a number 63, which reduces to a 9. So I feel like you guys are in a completion of something, but there's a bit of like I'm getting like there's a bit of a chip on your guys' shoulder for some about something from your past, and it has to do with you like expressing your feelings about how you felt, or how you, yeah, about how you felt in a situation. For a lot of you guys, this is going to kind of relate to like a relationship of some sort. It doesn't have to be romantic. I'm getting either romantic or a family relationship or a family dynamic with someone, but it doesn't have to be. These are general, so please take what resonates. But there's some type of anger that needs to transform within you, or grief or an anger. It's kind of the same thing, actually, because it's like you feel like you're kind of like, why did I have to go through something? Like that's the type of energy I'm getting. Like you feel like almost like a victim mentality, like why you, instead of like what is this teaching you type of vibe. So you need to change that type of thought. So Spirit wants you to know like everything happens for a reason, and you have gained something really valuable from all your experiences, all your past experiences, and you've gained so much wisdom, and you've learned so much, and you've grown so much, and you've transformed so much. All that had to happen so you could transform into this beautiful person that you are today. And remember that like transformation is a gift from spirit. So, you know, spirit doesn't give, you know, spirit gives its toughest, battles to its strongest soldiers, but it does so for you guys to transform, to really know who you are, and to really get to know your power, like your power on this planet, like on this earth as a human being right now. So kind of look at it from that perspective. Like everything that happened to you, like spirit gave to you because spirit knows that you're strong and that you're a king or queen in the making. Like you always have that like kind of, you always will be like, what am I trying to say? You are a king or queen, you are that royalty, that stature, that you deserve the world type of thing. But to like deserve the world, you just had to go through some things that may have been kind of nasty or gross, or just things that you wish you hadn't gone through, but they made you stronger and they made you a better person, and you're a better person for it. So um, you also might be a little embarrassed by what you've gone through, or disappointed, or like ashamed, but that's a great source of like, that's where wisdom comes from. That's where, character is built. Adversity is built through character. Like you have a great character now for it. And instead of looking at like the negative side of what you had to go through, try to look at like who you are now and where you are now. Like you wouldn't be this person that you are today without going through whatever you had to go through. So Vulture Spirit wants you to know that you are beautiful inside and out, no matter what you go through. Never judge yourself, shame yourself, or guilt yourself, and never let anyone else do that to you, because we all have been through stuff. We all have gone through, pain, grief, suffering in some type of way. It may not be the same way, but we've all been through it. So never, belittle anyone else's problems or like past any more than you belittle your own. Like there's no need to do all that. Like it all helps us to grow and evolve, because we're spirits and we're souls, and we need to grow and we need challenges to grow. How would you know the light if you've never been through the dark? You know what I'm saying? Like those are the type of things spirit wants you to know. And that there's a beautiful transformation happening within you right now, but like with the past of whatever's happened to you in your past has really transformed you into this beautiful person you are. So spirit wants you to know to just hang in there and know that you are loved. They're not doing this to you on purpose. They're not doing this because you're a bad person, or whatever's happening, it's not because you're a horrible person or the universe hates you. It's because they actually love you so much, and they want to see you blossom and this into this like beautiful like lotus flower. Like I think it's lotus flowers that like they grow in mud. They don't even grow in like beautiful like soil with like fertilizer and stuff. They grow in like legit like gross just mud, and they're like the most beautiful flowers. So maybe think of yourself as like a lotus or something, because there's so much beauty awaiting to come out of all of what you've been through. You just have to hang in there and just trust the spirit, which is why you have the surrender to spirit card here. So surrender to spirit says, once you've done everything you can to achieve a goal, turn the situation over to the divine. Let spirit work its magic for you. So you really need to surrender to your higher power and your higher wisdom. Spirit has your back. You have two cards of surrender here. So you have surrender to spirit is, it's like the surrender deck. So, but the fact that you have another card here that says surrender, and it's a 91, guys have a lot of nines. So if you're seeing a lot of nines, even though that's a 10, but if you're seeing a lot of nines, that's spirit's way of saying you're almost there. Don't give up, like persevere. There's a really strong message of like perseverance coming through this group. So you need to persevere, you need to hang in there, you need to keep going and just surrender to spirit. Let spirit guide you. Spirit knows what it's doing, and just trust that you're on the right path. And instead of asking like why things are happening to you, trying to like shift your mental state, or like the question to, what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to bring to me? What is this trying to make me see about myself, about who I am, and about what can I become? How can I transform this situation, this like horrible, whatever situation. I mean, it's or however you feel about the situation. Like it's not horrible, but I feel like your past, you're just kind of embarrassed about what has happened, and you feel guilty or ashamed or disappointed. So you have to look at it from like, what was that trying to teach you? Like what was the spirit or the unit, like, because the universe and spirit was behind all of what has happened to you. Like they like initiated it, they brought it to you so that you could transform, so that you could change, so you could be the best version of yourself. Like you needed those lessons, those particular lessons, whatever happened to you in the past, you needed it to become this person you are today. So don't ever think like it was because you're like a horrible person or because like whatever happened. Like it was to make you a better person, and the spirit is going to continue to make you a better person, but you need to hang in there. You're almost there. You're kind of like at the end of the tunnel right now. So if you needed like a confirmation, or you felt like you just were going to give up or something, don't give up, because spirit really has your back in this. Like spirit knows what it's doing. It promises you a really bright, positive, abundant, like prosperous future. So don't ever, think that, you know, whatever happened to you, you deserved it. You didn't deserve it, but you needed it, if that makes sense. So with the surrender here, I feel like it speaks about your emotions. So I feel like a lot of you guys are really emotionally mature, very like you guys feel in deeply, like still waters run deep in you. I don't think you guys really express how much you guys actually feel. You keep it to yourself. You may express a little bit, and you guys are very charitable and very compassionate because you feel so deeply. You're very in tune with your emotions, like very, but you're not always so confident in your emotions. Like you second guess how you feel a lot, and spirit wants you to know, like surrender to how you feel, because how you feel is going to move you forward out of this like last little bit of completion in this like situation, whatever you guys have going on. Like listen to your emotions. Your emotions are your friends, and I feel like a lot of you guys are uncomfortable with your emotions. Like maybe you weren't taught to really like appreciate your emotions, or you guys are, I feel like a lot of you guys are like empathic people. Like you're just very emotional. You have like a lot of emotions. I don't know if you always express it, but you have a lot of it, and you feel so deeply. You feel when others are hurting because you know what it's like to be hurt, because you've probably been hurt with the vulture spirit in reverse in the past. Like you know what that's like. And spirit, see, and that's one lesson right there. Spirit gave you, maybe hurtful lessons in the past, so you can know what it feels like to be hurt, so you could help someone else in the future. How are you supposed to help someone if you don't know what pain feels like, if you don't know what grief feels like, if you don't know what loss feels like? Like, think of it that way, that you're gonna help and really like give out like time and effort and like, like emotions and feelings to people who have been through what you've been through in the past. Like, that's part of the reason why you went through what you went through in your past, or what you're going through right now, like because it's gonna help someone in the future. Like spirit always has a plan. Like don't ever think like things are just happening because they're happening. Like spirit always has a reason behind everything. Like every single thing you could think of, like there's a reason behind it. Whether you're aware of it or whether you know it or not is not really up to you. That's why you have surrendered to spirit. So you just have to surrender to that, that spirit knows what it's doing. So like I said, like a lot of you guys, you're just not confident in your emotions. You're uncomfortable with it. Maybe you got made fun of. Maybe it wasn't something, like I said, that was appreciated within your circle or your family, you being so emotionally and intuitive and so compassionate and charitable. And it's like you need to surrender to that. Surrender, because that's who you are. You're a very compassionate, loving, charitable person. You're very confident. um you can be very confident in your emotions if you choose to be. You just have to surrender to it and know that that's who you are, and kind of like accept who you are. Accept that you're this emotional, intuitive person, because the world needs that. Like we need more emotional, mature, intuitive people, very balanced. But it's like, or sometimes I feel like, like for some of you, you guys aren't confident in it, and then for some of you, you guys are like, you kind of use it to your advantage, but not in like a good way where spirit would be like rewarding. It would be like maybe manipulative. Like maybe you're emotionally manipulative because you didn't grow up in a very like um you didn't grow up in the most like nurturing, loving family or home, and they didn't, like I said, they didn't appreciate emotions or feelings, so you had to like use manipulation as your tactic to get the love that you wanted, but it never felt right to you, because that's not the type of person you are. Like you're very genuine and authentic in your feelings. You're just not confident in it because it was never like validated that you can be confident in your emotions, or never recognized that you can be, an emotional, empathic, empathetic, like charitable person. But it's like spirit wants you to know, like, you don't need their validation for that. Know it in yourself. Like, be confident in yourself. Be authentic in yourself, that like, you are this person and you don't need anyone to tell you otherwise. Like, so teaching and learning, you have teaching, learning, adventure, and communication. So like I said, I feel like a lot of you guys, you're in this stage of spirit wants you to know, like, you're in a new stage of like teaching and learning how to communicate from your heart. how to communicate your emotions, how to be authentic in your emotions. You're getting a second chance at something. So, like I said, a lot of you guys, I feel like this is relationship related. It doesn't have to be, but I'm getting like either relationship or family like strong. Like it could be both, to be honest. But definitely like you're learning how to be more spontaneous, more spontaneous, more adventurous, more like future focused, future oriented on like communicating your feelings, and you're getting a second chance at communicating your feelings because a cycle hasn't can't complete yet until you speak from this emotional place, if that makes sense. Like there's a cycle about to complete, but there's one more step you need to take, and it's in terms of like communicating your feelings to someone. um, Learning how to do that and then teaching others through example how to do that. But so while you're like learning how to do it and actually, and when you're actually doing like communicating your feelings, you'll be then like teaching others through your example on how to like be in tune with your emotions, be confident in what you feel, be confident in who you are, because you're a very peaceful, you know, person, but it's like a hard time being vulnerable and like expressing that to others, especially when it comes to like family. I feel like your family is deeply involved in how you communicate and how you like work out your emotions and your feelings and stuff like that, because you're very like I said, I'm very emotionally mature person, but like something there's like there's just like a lack of confidence there, and I feel like it comes from your family, first and foremost. But teaching and learning is definitely telling you to be spontaneous, be adventurous. You know, you're a teacher and a student. You know, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear, that type of thing. Like you can do this, you can move forward in your future. You can you're just moving future forward. It's time, spirit is telling you it's time to move future forward in terms of you expressing how you feel and surrendering to how you feel, surrendering to spirit, and like getting out of this like feeling that you've wasted your like half your life or something, or you've wasted your past was a waste, because it was never a waste. It just had to teach you what it had to teach you up until this point, so you could be ready to express your feelings and be strong in how you feel. Because adventure speaks of it's 55, so that reduces to a 10. Like I said, there's like a cycle ending and a new one beginning in terms of your emotional body, and there really is a need to let go of the past. And I feel like it has a lot to do with your family. I know I keep saying that, but I'm just getting that really strong. Like something in your family, you know, it was your family was either lacking emotional, like that type of reciprocation, or like was emotionally manipulative, didn't really respect feelings, didn't really respect emotions, and you were always like an emotional person, so you kind of took the brunt of that if you have siblings or something like that, because maybe your siblings aren't as emotional as you or sensitive to like feelings and stuff like that, but you are, and you took that personally and you took it seriously. And spirit wants to let you know that, you know, growing up, however you grew up, if you grew up in a like an emotional unavailable household, it wasn't personal. It just had to teach you to be more. Spirit's just weird in teaching things. They teach things kind of like oppositely. So instead of just giving you an emotionally stable or available household, they gave you the opposite to make you stand up more and to be more empowered in your emotions, to be more confident in your emotions. Because the more confident you are and the more mature and responsible and balanced you are in your feelings, the better you'll be in society, for the world, for the consciousness, for the universe. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's helping. It's not just helping you. You're not just teaching, you know, your family members or your friends or your lovers. You're teaching the universe. You're like raising the vibration of the universe when you express yourself and when you are vulnerable in whatever way you feel you need or want to be vulnerable. So this is like a new adventure for you in terms of vulnerability, and I feel like you're ready for the challenge, honestly. I feel like you have always been ready. You're just kind of like lacking that little bit of confidence or that authenticity. And it's just because of you're still maybe holding on to like your childhood problems or like issues from the past that were very like lacking emotional reciprocation, or maybe you just didn't know like how to express your emotions. You felt everything, but expressing it was something totally different. So you're still holding on to like you not being able to express yourself when you needed to express yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or yeah, or like just reciprocate emotionally when it was time for you to reciprocate emotionally. Like you just weren't confident in doing that, and so you're like holding on to that in the past and like thinking like, why didn't I do this, why didn't I do that, why didn't I say this, why didn't I say that? And spirit wants you to know, like, you did what you were supposed to do. Like everything happened for a reason. Now it's the time for you to communicate from a vulnerable place. Now it's the time you're getting that second chance to do so. So that's why I feel strongly it's a romantic or family relationship, because you're getting a second chance to like reciprocate that emotional communication, or like that vulnerability. You're getting another chance to be vulnerable. So for a lot of you it is going to be a romantic situation, and for others of you it's going to be like a family, a friend. Not, I'm not getting too much of a friend, I'm getting more family, like either siblings or parents or something like that. But definitely it's like a new adventure in terms of, you know, your communication style, and you just communicating from a very like authentic, vulnerable place, and you being comfortable in doing so. So to be comfortable in doing so, like spirit says, like just surrender to them. They're working with you. They are, you know, they have the situation under control. They're working their magic through you. So everything that you've gone through, spirit is working their magic through you, was working their magic through you, and still is working their magic through you. You don't have to worry about the past anymore. Like stay as present as possible, spirit said. Like you got this. You are a king or queen in your emotional. You are very stable emotionally. You have this. You know what to say. You know what to do. You know, just kind of let go of the past. Like let go of maybe your thoughts about the past, to be honest, and your feelings about the past, because the past happened, but they made you a better person for it, because now you know what to do. So yeah, that's all I see for you guys. I hope this was helpful. This was kind of similar to group A, so if you feel like checking that out, a little different, but the same type of like expressing truth type of thing. So if you feel like you want to listen to another pile, I would do A. But if not, I hope this resonated, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Okay, hi pile C. So you guys, important messages from spirit. What spirit wants you to know at this time? The first thing I'm getting from these cards is this is probably about a romantic relationship, and it's kind of getting a second chance. So I feel like for a lot of you guys, you are getting a second chance in a relationship to kind of set boundaries in it this time, because I feel like there's a lack of boundaries in it previously for a lot of you guys. And if this isn't about a relationship, then this is kind of like setting boundaries within yourself and with like other people in your life, like friends and families and stuff. So the first spirit animal message here is otter spirit. I love otters. They're my favorite animal because they mate for life and they always hold hands when they're on their backs. It's just so cute. I love otters. Okay, so it says you're never alone, but it's in reverse. So a lot of you guys think that by setting boundaries with others, that you're going to be alone and that no one likes you or is going to love you, or you're just going to be alone, and that couldn't be further from the truth. Um, this message is here to tell you guys, Spirit wants you to let you know that setting boundaries is healthy and it's an act of self-love. When you don't set boundaries and you kind of just people please, that's coming from a place of lack and from a place of fear, which you don't want to set your relationship on. So I feel like for a lot of you guys in the past, either romantic or like platonic, you guys have set relationship standards from a place of where you guys just people please or say yes all the time when you really mean no, or don't set boundaries, or just like are always in like unhealthy situations or unhealthy relationships. And it's because like you don't really have a healthy relationship with yourself. There's like a lack of boundaries, a lack of maybe self-respect that you need to work on within yourself, because your relationship with yourself sets the tone for other relationships in your life. And if you don't have that type of like foundation for yourself where you can set standards for yourself and set be grounded in yourself and say no when you really mean no, and really be confident in what you say and how you say it and mean what you say, then all your other relationships are going to be kind of like not healthy, like not coming from a healthy place. So with the otters here, they want to say that you have a soulmate. This person could be your soulmate, whether romantic or platonic. And you kind of need to see through the eyes of love, especially in terms of self-love. This is kind of similar to pile A. So if you feel like you want to have additional messages, I would go listen to that pile, because it kind of has the same theme, a little bit different, but the same type of like boundaries and people pleasing things. Because I feel like you guys, for some of you, like have like a certain level of people pleasing that you guys do, but it's not to the extent of pile A. So this one's a little different. This one's more about like setting boundaries, because we have surrender to setting limits. So it says it's healthy to set boundaries in relationships. Practice expressing your needs and remember that no is a complete sentence. So it's more like maybe you guys are setting boundaries, but then you guys are like going back on your word. Like first you say no and then you feel bad, and so then you say yes. Like that's kind of like the lack of boundaries that I'm talking about. Set limits to yourself. You don't always have to say yes. You don't always have to help someone if you feel like you don't want to. Like you don't even need a reason, honestly, like to not want to like help someone or to not be available for someone. Like you put your needs first, and like it says, remember that no is a complete sentence. You don't need to explain. Now if someone asks you like to do something and you say no, and then they ask why, you don't need to explain, unless you really honestly feel like explaining why. But if you do, like, make sure it's honest and it's coming from an authentic place. You're not like making up an excuse because you're afraid to just say no because you really just don't want to. You know what I'm saying? Which is hard for some people to do. But the more that you get used to doing that, and it's like, it's only hard because you are afraid like the other person is not going to want to talk to you, or your friend, you're afraid you're going to be alone. Like you're afraid you're not going to have this person, like this person's not going to love you. Or even if it's not just one person, like these people aren't going to love you the same if you start respecting yourself and setting limits for yourself. And that's not true. And if they don't love you the same and they change like how they approach you, then you don't want them in your life to begin with, because then they only really wanted you because you always say yes and you always, kind of like put their needs first, which is not even healthy relationship or reciprocal or fair or balanced in any way. So you get your answers either way, whatever happens. But don't do it out of fear because you're afraid to be alone, because you're never going to be alone. Outer Spirit is telling you, you always have that person, you always have that soulmate with you, but you first have to find it within yourself. Like you're your first soulmate, like before anybody else and before, anything else. Like you are your first relationship that will lead to your best relationship. So don't be afraid to set limits, especially set limits with yourself, because I feel like a lot of you guys, like, maybe you guys say you're going to do something and then you don't do it, or vice versa. You don't do something and then, you say like, you're like, you know what I'm saying? You're never like consistent with yourself. You're never like, you never set boundaries with yourself about like how much you work or how much you work out or how much you like hang out with people. Like it's not even about other people. I feel for you guys, it's kind of just reflecting on other people. Like other people are just mirroring the lack of boundaries you have within yourself, which is basically what all relationships are. They're mirrors. So, you know, this is just telling you to like practice saying no. Practice saying no to yourself. Like if you said you weren't going to eat sweets, don't eat sweets. Don't go back on your words. Like set those boundaries straight, because the more you affirm boundaries within yourself, the more that you can do it with others, and it won't be so like harsh, and you won't feel so like you won't feel bad for like putting your for putting yourself first and putting others like second in a way, which sounds bad, but it's not. It's kind of like you're just respecting yourself in whatever way you feel like you need to respect yourself. Like don't let anyone tell you how you should be living your life or how you should respect yourself. Like you have a soul that knows what it needs to flourish, to be the best version of yourself, to be grounded, to feel protected and safe and secure. So that's what you should do, and kind of ignore what other people say or think about that, because they have their own issues, going on. So with self-discipline here, like I said, so it's really asking you, spirit's really asking you to be really disciplined, especially in your thoughts, and especially in your thoughts about maybe something from the past or a hurt that has happened or transpired in your life. Be disciplined in the way you think about it, because I feel like you're overthinking something, some type of hurt, some type of sadness, some type of pain, and it doesn't need to be overthunk. And I feel for a lot of you guys it has to do with a relationship, but you're getting a rebirth in a relationship, but you're first getting a rebirth with a relationship with yourself, so that it's on a more stable ground and you can set those boundaries with the other person. But you need to be really, really, really disciplined with setting boundaries for yourself. Like I can't even stress that enough. I feel like spirit is really saying like you need to be really disciplined, and not like Not discipline like where it's like you're overthinking everything and you're not sleeping and you're anxious and you're worried. Maybe you're anxious and worried about hurting other people's feelings, like I said, because you're afraid you're going to be alone. But that's not the case. Like whatever you're doing, you're like up at night thinking about it, thinking about hurting someone's feelings, thinking about how your feelings were hurt or are going to get hurt or something in that realm of like hurt feelings. But you need to like not do that. Like spirit doesn't want you to do that. Like you're okay. No one's going to get hurt. You're not going to hurt yourself. You're not going to hurt others by just kind of being more respectful to yourself. Respect is not supposed to be hurtful. It's not about fear. It's not about like control. It's just about, you having a house, you being the house, in this example, you being a house and then you having a fence to protect your house from whatever you feel could harm your house, not a wall, but like a fence, where there's still like an opening. People just have to come through the opening of the fence instead of just running straight up to your window or running straight up to your door, you know what I'm saying? Like that's what boundaries are. Like they're not walls or blockages. They're just like specific ways to get to you, to talk, to like communicate with you, to understand you. They're just like strong, secure, like boundaries. Like I don't know how to describe it. Like they're just boundaries. So yeah, but spirit wants you to know like self-discipline in your thoughts and in your feelings, and self-discipline and forgiveness. This was very similar to A and B. So if you feel like listening to both, like I would do so too, because it had like similar tones of like discipline, forgiveness, and boundaries. So and pile B was kind of more like relationship, I felt oriented. So if you feel like this is resonate with you with a relationship, romantically speaking, like go watch pile B. But definitely there's like a sense of discipline here where you have to really like control yourself and like ground yourself in who you are, in your truth, and like stop overthinking something, stop worrying about something. You're like anxious about something, you're like replaying, I feel like, a pain from the past in your head over and over again. Or it doesn't even have to be from your past. It could be like in it could just have happened. And like you're thinking about it over and over again, and it's making you like not sleep. And like you really need to be disciplined about your thoughts at this time, and like your thoughts moving forward at this time. So with creativity, rebirth, and physical activity, I feel like physical activity usually speaks of like exercise, or any type of like exercise that you do. It could be literally anything. It could be yoga, swimming, any type of movement, really. I feel like a lot of you are on a new journey in fitness, maybe, and like you're kind of like trying to figure out the best fitness plan for you, in terms of maybe that's what you're setting boundaries on, like a fitness plan, like you really committing to being fit, working out, getting in shape, all that kind of good stuff. And you're getting a rebirth because working out, like, builds up endorphins, like feel good endorphin. It makes you feel good about yourself. It makes you feel confident. It makes you, maybe easier to set boundaries and say no when you feel good about yourself. So I feel like spirit really wants you, if you're not already working out or thinking about working out, to like work out or get a plan to work out. It could be anything. It could just be walking for 30 minutes. It could just be walking for 10 minutes. There's so much stuff on YouTube, like honestly, or just, at your gym, or just walking around your neighborhood. Like get physical, because it'll like release like overthinking habits that I feel like you guys have. It'll release anxiety and worry. The more that you move, the more like the feel good endorphins will come up, and it'll be like you'll feel better about yourself and you'll feel better about your situation, because I do feel like you guys are naturally like creative, confident, authentic people, very passionate, very beautiful actually. Like you guys are very creative, very like you guys to love to create. You guys could be like artists in some way, or like you guys could create your own workout and like broadcast it on YouTube or somewhere, something like that. You guys are just very creative in what you guys are doing in terms of your work or your projects or just your passions or your hobbies or something like that. You guys are very creative, and you guys are very like I feel like you guys are very confident in your work area. But in terms of like romantic relationships, that's where like it kind of goes left. Like you guys are very assertive at work, but in relationships, you guys could be very passive. So it could be like kind of like, because it's like you're afraid to be alone, or you're afraid to be your authentic self with your partner, or future partner or your past partner or something, because you're afraid like they're gonna leave you or they're not gonna want someone who's so strong and confident in who they are, and that's not true. And if they don't want that, then that's not the person for you. But I do feel like you guys do have a soulmate who doesn't mind you being confident. It's like maybe you haven't expressed this to them yet, or you kind of like don't let that side of you show, like you're more passive with them. And spirit is wanting you to like not be so passive with them, because they like that about you, which is why you're getting like a second chance in romance. And this is like Ton of Cups, I feel, in romance, like very like soulmates, destined relationship. Even if you guys haven't met anyone, you're about to, like, that's, I'm getting that type of vibe, like you're about to meet a soulmate, a person where you can have like emotional fulfillment, spiritual fulfillment, gratification, like all the nine, like all 9 yards, like fulfillment and wishes, abundantly. But definitely you guys are very like, spirit is saying like, use your creativity, use your assertiveness, use your confidence in this relationship, and you'll see results. Like, don't be shy. I feel like you guys aren't even really shy people, but when I feel like for some reason when it comes to a relationship, you guys just get stuck. And I think it's just because you're afraid to be yourself, because you're so confident you don't want to like overpower them, or you feel like you don't want to, intimidate them. And that's not your problem. Like, whether you intimidate them or not, like, you have to be yourself. And if they find you intimidating, then literally that that's not the person for you, because you can't not be anything but yourself with this person, with anyone, to be honest, not just this person. But in work, you guys are so confident and creative and passionate and zesty, and like, I feel like you guys are just very attractive, and people find you very attractive. And spirit wants you to know, like, it's okay to be yourself. It's okay to be spontaneous. It's okay to try new things in your creativity. Maybe you guys are bored with what you have, like the status quo or your jobs or something like that. And spirit wants you to know, like, it's okay to try something new. Like, even if it's just like a new routine in your day-to-day life, like adding a workout routine into your day, it'll help make you more confident and empower you to be yourself more, in like, in terms of like romantic relationships, and in terms of like one-on-one relationships. Like, because I feel like that's where you guys like get kind of like stuck, or maybe even intimidated within yourselves about like it, because you just know how you it's almost like who you are, but then when it comes to like a romantic relationship, you kind of downplay who you are, which is causing like the anxiety and the frustration and the hurt, because then you're not being yourself. And it's like, you're hurting yourself, and your soul and your spirit doesn't want you to hurt yourself. They want you to flourish. They want you to shine bright. They want you to glow up and outward. They want you to be yourself. So, and I feel like this person, if this is a romantic interest, wants you to be yourself as well. But definitely there's a rebirth in terms of like your creativity and your physical activity. I feel like it kind of goes hand in hand. Like, you're starting a new day routine to help you be more confident. And I feel like this new routine is gonna like make you have to say no to people, because you're putting yourself first and you're putting this routine first. So you have to be really, really disciplined about whatever this new routine is. It could be creative, it could be physical, it could be both, like whatever it is. And don't be afraid that you're gonna be alone if you start saying no and setting up limits and boundaries with people, because you won't. The right person will come in. Like, and I see that there's like a person destined for you to come into your life, whether it be romantic. For a lot of you, if you haven't met someone, it is going to be romantic. I do see that. If not, then it's going to be like a business person, like a business partnership, or like a really strong like best friend, like a super strong soulmate friendship type thing. But definitely you're destined to meet someone. You're not gonna be alone. Like, don't ever think you're gonna be alone, but you really need to be really, really disciplined in this new routine you guys are setting up, because I feel like you guys are doing a new routine, and it's gonna help you be more creative, help you be more balanced, help you be more hopeful, and have faith in yourself and in your future, like moving forward. Help you, like, it's gonna help bring all of these wishes to you, all this like reciprocation, balanced reciprocation. And it's gonna help you like make better decisions and be confident in decisions that you're making. Like, there's a lot of like future like movement forward. Like, I feel like you guys are ready to move forward. You're just a little like nervous and anxious and worried about like who you're gonna hurt, and like maybe hurting yourself throughout this. Like, maybe you feel like you're not going to commit to this new routine that you're doing, and so you're already thinking like, I'm not going to commit, oh my god, I suck. And like, you're already thinking like you're going to fail at it, instead of just kind of taking it day by day, being confident in who you are and being confident in this new routine and then this new process, and just really like knowing that you're not going to be alone. This is almost like a message of self-love, but more in terms of like a new like project, passion, hobby, routine type of way, like finding yourself in a new day-to-day routine. And then you will meet someone, like whether you're with someone or not, you're going to meet a new best friend, a new business, a new partner. If you're not looking for someone and you're already like with someone, this is just going to like increase your relationship with them. It's going to like bring it out into a whole new level. You're going to be able to set boundaries with this person. This person's going to find it super super like super, I can't even stress how like attractive, or how attracted this person's going to be to you, like after you start to set boundaries with yourself and then with them. Like start saying no and start doing things that you feel like doing when you feel like doing it, and not in like a abrasive attitude way, but more in just like a confident, like you know who you are, you know where you're going type of way, if that makes sense. And like knowing what you're passionate about, and not like not really caring what other people think, because you have to do you and you have to live your life for you, and you're really just focused on your own happiness and what you need to move forward and be successful and be the best version of yourself. So I hope this was helpful. Like I said, like A and B were kind of similar, so if you feel like checking those out, feel free to do so. I hope some message in this resonated with you guys, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Okay, hi Pile D. So, you guys, what important messages Spirit wants you to know at this time is, well, first off, I think you guys, Spirit wants to know that your health needs to be, take a look at your health, particularly your emotional health and your spiritual health, because I feel like I'm feeling like a lot of anxiety and a lot of like anxious, nervous energy. You also have surrender to the wisdom of your body, and then the be at home animal tarot oracle card, which is wombat spirit, be at home, but it's in reverse. So the when this card comes in reverse, spirit usually is saying that you're wearing some type of mask, to protect yourself from getting hurt. You're not really feeling comfortable in your own skin. And I feel like since you guys have a lot of strong cards, you have the intuition card, domestic harmony, health, karmic completion. There's a completion happening in your life right now when it's like you need to surrender to the wisdom of your body. You need to surrender to your emotions and your feelings, and you guys have been maybe avoiding that because you're afraid of what will come up. And it's like spirit has been giving you signs that, it's time to make a decision about which direction you want to go in terms of like you want to start listening to your emotions and listening to the wisdom of your body, and it's like you guys kind of, it's almost like you guys pick like whatever, what's the word? Like you guys kind of choose the opposite. So instead of like taking the time out to really listen to your emotions and listen to your intuition, you guys kind of pick the next thing that's like shiny, almost like all that glitters isn't gold, but you think it's gold type of thing. That's the type of vibe I'm getting here. So there's some type of, so there's something completing, but I feel like honestly for a lot of you guys, it's time for you to listen to your intuition, listen and pay attention to the signs and synchronicities that spirit has been giving you, because I do feel like they've been giving you a lot of signs and a lot of synchronicities. It could come in the form of like numbers. There's like a major ending happening here. So if you see a lot of twos or a lot of ones, that's kind of a message from spirit to be like, it's time to make a decision. It's time to set some, I feel like you guys need to like really take a time out, to listen to your intuition and to like go back to the nature of who you really are. Like you guys have kind of lost your way or lost who you really are because you're afraid of being hurt and you're afraid of like being yourselves and being vulnerable with others. So you kind of wear this mask, which is what the wombat spirit kind of speaks about. It's like a persona to make you look stronger than what you really are, but it honestly just like robs you of like your integrity in certain accounts. And it just kind of, it never helps anyone, to be honest, because we all kind of do it in some way at some level at some point in time in our lives, like where we like protect ourselves or think we're protecting ourselves by like putting on a mask that is not really us, but it usually just ends up hurting us and we end up being resentful and like bitter, and like it never works out for anyone to like not be your authentic self. So With wombat here, it is basically spirit is telling you to drop all the mask, and um because no one's gonna hurt you. Like, you don't have to like feel like you're gonna get hurt. It's only you that's hurting you, like I said, by not being your authentic self. And know that it's okay, and that you can't make a mistake. You can always course correct if you feel like you're making a mistake, but it's like you have to be yourself no matter what comes up. So I feel like there's like a completion here, or like a cycle that's like making you be yourself no matter what. And like I said, I feel for a lot of you guys, you don't have a choice, or you guys have just made that choice to kind of listen to the wisdom of your body. And even if others aren't in agreement with who you really are, then always know that you're safe with spirit, and spirit will bring you people who are in agreement with who you really are. You're not, if you have to lie to keep something, then it's not really yours to keep because you're lying. Like, when you're honest, when you're authentic and you have something, it is yours. Like, it's, it's not yours to keep forever, but it belongs to you. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even work hard for it. All you have to do is be yourself. Like, you want things that add up to being yourself. You don't want to like lie for things, manipulate for things, like, because you're not going to keep them, because it's like you're not being authentic. And like, you're an energy. We're all energy. We're all vibrations, and you need to, and it's like, it's almost like you're not keeping that vibration anymore. You're keeping like a fake vibration, a vibration that you're not even comfortable with, that's not even you, to have something that you think you need or you think you want, and you really don't. Like, spirit always knows what you want. Your soul, your heart always know what you want. Listen to the wisdom of your body. You have surrender to the wisdom of your body. Listen to your body's messages about a person or a situation. If you feel physically drained or uncomfortable, be cautious. If you are energized and happy, move forward. So it's like you guys maybe have been like faking something because you're afraid that you're going to hurt this person's feelings, or like, maybe you've been stuck in like a friendship or a relationship where you have to be or pretend to be something that you're not, because you're afraid you're going to hurt this person's feelings, or because you're just afraid of whatever you're afraid of. But if you feel physically drained, or you feel uncomfortable, or you feel anxious or worried, or you feel like every time you see this person you have to go and like cleanse yourself or sage yourself, or like, go take a nap or like reset, this is not the person for you. And they're asking you to drop that person, drop that situation, and drop that mask that brought you that situation, because that's not who you really are. I feel like a lot of you guys are very like emotionally empathetic people, very, very intuitive, very, I'm getting like a starseed light worker for you guys. Like, you guys are very intuitive with your emotions. You guys are very like, your bodies are like your compass for like where you're supposed to be and where you're not supposed to be, and you've been ignoring that to fit in to some situation or to fit in with somebody. And it's like, it's time for you to drop that mask and like kind of be authentic in who you are. And it's gonna drop anyway, because you have karmic completion, which is a 10, and then you have domestic harmony, which is a 10. So it's like major changes are happening like right now, by you listening to this message. And I am filming this like, I think on a new moon. I don't know, around a new moon, even though this message is timeless, but there's like a new moon energy while I'm doing this, and like Mercury retrograde is going on while I'm doing this. So, there's like a lot of energies for purging, for releasing, for healing, for new beginnings, and letting go of old endings and past traumas and stuff like that. So you're really in that energy of doing so, and it's really about becoming more authentic, and taking off the mask of who you think you should be, or who people want you to be, and really listening to your body. Your body has all the wisdom. Your soul, your heart has more wisdom than like everybody on this planet, basically. Like, if people just listen to that little inkling in their heart or chest or throat about a person or a situation, it would be like way better, like for everybody. Like, if you just, like I said, you're getting all the signs and synchronicities because you are like psychic or intuitive in that way, like at a very high level, and you can do that, but you're not listening to it because maybe you're not trusting it, or maybe you're gonna have to leave something behind in order to listen to that, and you're just not ready to do so. But spirit is telling me, like, and telling you actually, that you are ready to do so. You're ready to go back to your true nature, to your true giving, caring, sensitive side. Like, with health here, it's really talking, I feel, about your emotional health. Like you really have maybe like ignored your feelings about a certain person or a situation, and you need to go back to your original feelings. Like go back to the wisdom of your body. Go back to how you felt, to like like go back to how you felt as a child. Remember, maybe remembering when you were a child and you felt so happy, and like who makes you happy and you know who makes you sad, and it's like you ignoring that wisdom is what's causing this friction or this unhealthy situation, and it's causing you to not, it's not like serious, but I feel like if it's not handled, if you don't make the decision to really listen to spirit, it can get kind of serious. Like spirit's gonna step in, and you don't want spirit to step in because they're, extra. Like spirit's always extra because they just want you to get the message and they want you to get the lesson. So you don't want spirit to step in, and I feel like if you don't take the time out just a little bit to kind of listen to your feelings and listen to how you're feeling around a certain person, then it's just going to get worse. And then spirit's going to have to step in and just take them or take the situation out of your life. And I feel like you're going to not like that. Then you're going to like it, but you're not going to like the way spirit's going to do it. Spirit is like tough love, harsh type of energy sometimes. So usually, and especially when we're not getting a lesson and they're giving us like sign and chance after chance to do the right thing or to do the right thing that we feel is the right thing for us. And when we're not doing it, spirit kind of gets frustrated with us, or just, I don't know if spirit gets frustrated. In my eyes, spirit gets frustrated and just is like, well, fuck it. I'm just going to do it for you. And you're just going to have to, those who don't hear, feel type of thing. So that's the type of energy I'm getting here. But definitely like there's like some emotional health type of thing, and you really need to look at your emotional body. Like I feel like for a lot of you, you guys are going back to like a memory in your childhood or a past person in your childhood, an old friend. I feel like this could be honestly an old friend who you've known forever, but who just makes you feel uncomfortable. It makes you feel anxious and just doesn't make you feel right. Maybe at one point they were your good friend, but now they're not. And it's like, you don't know how to handle that situation because you're going to have to like let them go because you always feel so anxious or worried or nervous or uncomfortable when you're with them, but you've known them forever. So it's like you're going through that type of decision making process. But with domestic harmony here and intuition, if you listen to your intuition, I don't think you're gonna have to like let go of them completely. It may just be that you need to set boundaries, or you need to just like speak up for yourself, or you need to just like be yourself. Maybe it's not asking you to like drop this person if this is a person or a friend. It's just asking you to be yourself with this person, and then maybe they won't like it and they'll just drop away to begin with. You know what I'm saying? But your only job that spirit wants you to do here is to be yourself, and to just show who you truly are and listen to your intuition, because it's like really, really important to do so at this particular time, because you have it kind of the message here twice with surrender to the wisdom of your body and intuition. With domestic harmony here, since it's a 10, I feel like it's related to the karmic completion. So it's telling you not to give up. Usually this card speaks of not giving up on your domestic environment. So at home or roommate, family, friends, wherever you are, your circle of friends, your environment, and whatever that case may be, it's more so just telling you to clean it up and to like release expectations, let go of expectations, let go of burdens, like start over, start fresh by being yourself and taking off that mask and showing people who you really are, because I feel like that'll fix whatever situation you're in. It's not the fact that this person makes you feel uncomfortable. It's probably the fact, or the situation, it's probably the fact that you are just uncomfortable because you're not being yourself, is what I'm getting for a lot of you. And it's because I feel like this person is, if this is a person or a situation, is like genuine and like caring, and like definitely could be something from your past, but doesn't have to be. But definitely this situation or person is genuine and like means well. But since you're not being yourself, that's why you're getting the uncomfortable. It's not maybe this person that's making you uncomfortable. It's the fact that you're not comfortable with who you are, and so you're kind of like projecting that onto them, and it's making it look like the person, but it's really not, because spirit wants to really let you know, like, just be yourself and the situation will fix itself. Like literally it'll do like a 360, I'm feeling here. But to do that, you really need to take some time out to listen to your intuition, or spirit's gonna make you take a time out. I'm hearing like by like either making you not well, or like making you feel sick where you're gonna have to rest and have to sleep, and then they can give you the signs that you need. It's like you're not resting, you're not sleeping, you're like always anxious or on the go or something, where it's like you just don't have the time, you feel quote unquote like you don't have the time to listen to your intuition, but spirit is always speaking through you. You always have the time to listen to your intuition if it's important to you. So I feel like you have to make the time to do so. And it could just be like 5 minutes before you go to bed or 5 minutes when you wake up. Just like meditate and sit there, or like do something where you don't have to think, do something that makes you feel calm, that makes you feel good, like a hobby or a project or something that makes you feel like yourself again. Could just be what you need to do. Like, you don't even need to meditate if you're not a big meditator. Just do something that makes you feel like yourself again, like your inner child shows up, like something that you loved as a child or something. Do you eat something, read something, watch something that just makes you laugh and feel good about yourself? And spirit can speak through you, can speak to you through anything. So I feel like they're going to speak to you the way they know that they need to speak to you. So if meditation's not your thing, then you need to do something fun and something, eat something fun, or do something that you enjoy, and spirit can speak to you through there. But you always have the wisdom in your body. You always have that spiritual side of you. Like, you're a very spiritual, intuitive person. I feel like you practice spirituality for some of you, but it's like you don't really listen to it. But it's like, I don't know, I'm getting two things. It's like you listen to it when you need to, and when you don't, you don't. It's not like consistent or something. Like, if you're not consistent with listening to your intuition or your instincts or what spirit's telling you, you kind of maybe question the signs you get sometimes, because maybe you're, like I said, you're just not consistent with it. But definitely, like, spirit has been trying to give you these messages, like, but it's like I don't think you're getting it. I think you're thinking of doing something else when maybe you're misinterpreting the messages that your spirit is giving you. Like I said, like, you could be thinking like, oh, this person is maybe toxic, or like, and this very much could be a person who's toxic, but it's more about you not being your authentic self and not like being yourself with this person. That's the problem. Less like, not so much like the person's the problem, if that makes sense. And if the person is the problem, you'll see that more and more the more you're yourself, but you can't see it yet because you're not being your authentic self. So you're just seeing like false masks with the other person because you're wearing a false mask, if that makes sense. Like, all relationships are mirrors, so whatever you're feeling, whether you intentionally do it or not intentionally do it, you project what you're feeling. So if you're not feeling secure or authentic, then you're going to project that on that person, either unintentionally or intentionally, and then that's what you're going to see. But you're seeing it to like, spirit's using that person to show you like, hey, like, be yourself, like, take off the mask, like, stand up for yourself, speak up for yourself, and like, kind of get that just get that message across. Like, that's what spirit wants you to know, to like really, really take off the mask and be your authentic self. Because, and honestly, I feel like this is like not a test, but it's been like maybe a challenge, or like something has been going on where it's kind of like the last bit of a cycle for you. So this is kind of like the last little thing, and then you're on to like the next level of your life, or a new phase of your life. So you're really at the end of a cycle here when it terms of like your spirituality, because then your spirituality and your intuition is going to evolve and become even more intuitive and more heightened and more like, just stronger. Well, you won't be so hesitant, and you won't be so like yeah, you won't be so hesitant in listening to it. You'll know it for sure, like when you see it, when you first feel it, or when you first see the signs. So yeah, I hope this I hope this made sense. I felt like it was all over the place, but maybe not. So I hope this resonated. If not, feel free to, check out another one of my piles. But I hope you got some type of message from it. I hope it was helpful in some way. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care.